Yeah.
I think like FlyQuest probably think their draft was good, but
Yeah.
their early game was too bad.
Yeah.
This game.
One thing we didn't get to mention was they basically predicted a lane swap, didn't get a lane swap, and that set them behind. Emily?
No, that's what I was going to say. Is I think that was what we were going to talk about if C9 had just managed to close out the game, right? As we see Lillia locked in once again for C9, was that it looked like FlyQuest were anticipating that C9 was going to swap. They didn't, and that actually ended up getting C9 ahead.
And do we have any changes in the bans from game 1 to game 2?
Nope. None.
Mirror,
They're
so
exactly the
far.
same bans. I am sad that the Nasus has remained banned. I would love to see it get through. But
Free
C9,
the dog.
C9 know that
doghouse.
is going on, and we also have the same exact first 2 picks thus far, with C9 picking up the Lillia, and then FlyQuest going for the Renekton once again.
Earlier Ivern, so they want to change bot lane maybe.
Or they think Ivern can be banned, so they just take it.
Yeah. We're straight back to this, and honestly,
it's kind of can be the same draft.
yeah, even with the bad early game from FlyQuest in the last one, the Smolder was ahead, and the Smolder was doing quite well. So Quad's going to be happy with this, and there was a random 2v2 that ended up happening last game in which Ivern and Smolder got ahead with a kill. I think it was just on Blaber. So something like that, you can come out with confidence saying, look, the early game was poor because of the poorly matched swapped and circumstances that we can easily change going into the next game.
Well, and the one thing that they did end up doing was consistently being able to reset the lane for the Smolder, right? That was the only one thing, the tiny good thing that came out of that early game. And even then, it didn't look like it was going to pay off because C9 had such a stranglehold on it.
And the only difference in picks in the first 3 here for FlyQuest is instead of having Ashe in their 1-2-3, they have Smolder in their 1-2-3, which is going to change these bans in 4-5, Core JJ. All the AD carries getting just mind game banned here because both teams still need to pick their bot lanes most likely.
Yeah, I think if C9 doesn't ban Ashe, FlyQuest might still pick the Ashe.
Yeah.
FlyQuest think Smolder is a more important pick, so they prioritizing on the Smolder. And then MF was obviously the annoying pick. But this time Ziggs was up. If FlyQuest picked the Ashe, maybe C9 can go Ziggs.
I can see it because they banned the Misfortune. FlyQuest actually has the same draft so far.
Yeah, they only changed
Especially
the
if they lock in
Misfortune ban instead of a Ziggs ban.
And C9 with the Leona ban as well thought maybe they were going to take that away.
Yeah.
Wanted to make a call out to the Kalista ban because Massu has been quite good on the Kalista all split long, something that he's been kind of given a lot of respect for.
Oh.
Going towards the Rell actually instead of the Ashe. What's your thoughts on the Rell pick here?
I think since they banned the Ziggs last time, and then this time they couldn't ban it, maybe they're respecting C9 could pick Ziggs. They don't want to give it easy anger.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's going to be a Ziggs game.
Ziggs hover.
Almost certainly.
Blind Ziggs for Berserker. I want to see Berserker on an AD carry personally. Wow.
Nope.
Well,
You
Wow.
don't get it.
your wish
Have we ever seen Berserker Ziggs on stage?
Personally, I don't remember it, but my memory is poop, so I don't know about you, Emily.
Yeah, I can't. I feel like you're going to be excited by memory, but I can't remember seeing Berserker pulled out on stage either.
And then Vulcan is picking his comfortable champion.
Yeah.
And then their damage balance is also really great.
Yeah, from the overall team comp, the Lillia Ziggs with Corki Ksante works incredibly well. I just don't know if I need to see it. I need to see the Berserker Ziggs.
I like the range that C9 has here, just based off Corki and Ziggs alone. And the front line off of Alistar and Ksante is going to do a lot of damage. So I'm a big fan of Cloud9's comp so far.
Core JJ, which comp do you like more?
I think if FlyQuest picked anything other than Kaisa, I would like the C9 comp. But I think FlyQuest knew what's the best pick there. I like the Kaisa pick on the last pick. I think FlyQuest draft is better.
We're going to have to see if they're able to even the series. This is also confirmed that it's Berserker's first ever LCS Ziggs. Probably played many Ziggs in American scrims, but not yet on the LCS stage. He breaks it out here in Game 2 of the playoff series for C9. That's it from us at the Lounge. Casters, take it away.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much, Lounge and special guest CoreJJ. Actually, we were looking up the Ziggs because we had the same thought. Has Berserker even played this before? Berserker has a lifetime professional record of 0-1 on Ziggs. He played it one time back in 2021 LCK Challengers League, Genji versus T1.
Yep, so definitely
epic
not one of his pocket picks by any means. I am pretty surprised to see him bust.
I've talked to, though, I don't know if this is ego, but they're like, Ziggs is the easy mage. Like, Ziggs, there's some mages that are hard to play bot lane, and Ziggs is like, well, you just throw bombs, they blow everything up. And
Ziggs has been OP for so long, and mid laners don't even play it well. Right? Like, this champion, everyone's like, oh, this champion is so OP. Why aren't you playing it?
So easy, so OP. We'll see about that this time around. I do like the combo with Alistar. Of course, I always like Ziggs kill lanes. It has always been most popular in LPL, where I think they are the best at it, with melee supports where they do kill lanes with it.
Well, before we get into the lanes, we got Raz standing by for an interview with Coach Nukeduck.
That's right, I got Nukeduck here. After that last game, what's the conversation like in the back? You had what was a poor early game, but then also just a back and forth and a close Nexus finish.
Yeah, that was a little heartbreaking for us. We thought we actually won the game in the back room, but we were just smiling it off, laughing. We'd made so many mistakes in the early game that that the game even got to that point gives us a lot of confidence, honestly. So we're feeling good about that.
That sounds good. And taking a look at it, you said you felt good. A lot of the same components of your composition remain the same. With this comp, like, what is your goal going into this game?
I mean, we took a little bit different approach. They just ran it back, so. I mean, I don't want to say much. We just made some adjustments, and we're hoping like this time we'll have like an easier early game. Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Thanks a lot.
I really like the fact that he mentioned that they were kind of happy with the fact that the game even got to that point, considering how many mistakes that they made early. It kind of echoes a statement that we heard earlier from Inspired after the first time these two teams played in the last week of the regular split, talking about how he was a bit scared playing against C9 before we faced them, but after these games, it was like they're not that scary. They didn't play like they do in scrims. So even through their losses against C9, which is now 3 losses in a row, FlyQuest still feels that confidence.
And it'll be interesting because this game, I think, even though the beginning of the draft was exactly the same, it turns so much different with the bottom lanes.
Okay.
With the Ziggs lane, it's like you have really good AoE and you can just clear out these waves and then your support gets to go roam, right? And so you're like, all right, Alistar, Vulcan, go make some plays. He literally has won Player of the Week this split for Cloud9 on his Alistar, making plays around the map. But then FlyQuest's answer to seeing that was like, okay, fine. If you are going to do that, then we will get a Kaisa here for some dive angles with our Rell, and we're going to have a much more aggressive look for Massu, who has been such a huge carry for this FlyQuest team, even though he is a rookie, and even though Kaisa has a weak lane phase. Since you're doing the Ziggs lane, then we are actually free to go for the Kaisa and put Massu way, way up in priority and actually be a real carry threat this time around rather than more utility Ashe throwing out the arrows.
Exactly. I mean, Ashe is a great champ. Jojo could be in trouble.
Yeah, Inspired's coming in to save Quad, gives him the shield. Jojo flashes out, but he has flashed into the FlyQuest side of the map, and Inspired can easy flash follow. 2 Ivern attacks and a red buff burn crashes that chopper, and it looks like FlyQuest is first on the board.
Nicely done. Inspired grabbing first blood on the wraparound gank there, but yeah, I mean, Ashe is a strong champion, but Massu has just been so good on the carries for FlyQuest, and now it gives you a true second threat here. It's not just about quad and then setup. So I think that could really pay dividends in these fights. I
also love the Inspired early spamming the thumbs up emote. Him and Jojo, former teammates, are obviously very close. Thanatos here is going to have to...
Oh boy, Thanatos already got caught pretty badly. Bwipo only needs a little bit more damage. One more auto attack from Inspired will not kill through the potion.
Use your potions.
Drink your potions at home, people. It's the difference between life and death.
He popped his biscuit and his potion there, barely survives the auto attack. So using both there really critical and using them early.
Nicely survived by Thanatos, but Inspired is affecting lanes and affecting them early. Game number 1, it felt like he was invisible. He's already having a lot more presence in game 2.
And the wave was really bad there for Thanatos. It was actually stacking and pushing away from him, so he would have already lost a number of minions to those getting denied by his own. Bwipo has not yet based, so Bwipo just wants to get a little trade and then spend as much HP as possible, get back, TP back with full health, and try to take an edge from there. But because he waited so long on the base, now it gets a little bit weird where you have to actually stay and collect this wave first. I don't think Thanatos can really threaten any sort of a dive, though, so Bwipo should just be fine and have a better base with more gold.
And now you're in a situation for C9 where they have both solo laners without flashes. So Blaber has a bit more of control to do, you know, trying to keep track of an Ivern, who is a jungler that in the early game does have a lot of free time. You just channel your camps, look around, is there an opportunity to go harass the enemy solo laners and try and punish them, at least make them lose more CS or something. But Thanatos goes straight into enemy jungle, into enemy territory to go proxy farm very, very deep.
Does he execute? That's the question now. I don't think he can. I think Quad's going to get the kill. So Thanatos has kind of messed this one up. Or, okay.
Oh, no! He doesn't get it! He doesn't get it!
Wow, that is bad from Quad.
That was Mega Mind 600 IQ. You make it look like you're going to feed the kill just to get the flash out of the Smolder.
He even got the TP from Bwipo, which means that he lost more minions because Bwipo TP'd to the tier 1 tower to corral him into Quad, excuse me. Now I did it. You know, so it's
you guys.
It's one of those things where I thought for sure he was going to get him. The W was so close, and then he goes for the flash, but just didn't quite get it.
Well, they also were like you, and they're like, this guy's hinting. We're so close to getting him, and they used a teleport and a flash. Thanatos, 5-head, Mega Mind. Look at these clean dodges with the footwork. And
that is so close.
Just as it was going to hit,
that had to be like single-digit fractions of a second, because you even saw the explosion of the fireball looked like it was right on top of the character model as he died.
Is that the best death that you have seen?
Good death.
This will redefine good death.
At least all year long for me. I feel like that is the best death that I have seen.
Vulcan now. That wouldn't have been nearly as good of a death.
What about a death where they got like a quadra kill or something? It's better than that.
No, dude, this is...
come on, man.
This is
the best death you've seen all year.
For me, that was the best death that I have seen all year.
Kobe closes his eyes when other better deaths are happening.
Yeah, this is... That was a good death, though.
It was a good death, though,
Let's not get it confused. That was really good from Thanatos. Obviously and clearly calculated down to the minute little pieces
gonna happen. Had it all figured out.
Okay, so looks like once again Cloud9 wants to be first on the board with Dragons. Going to try to put some early pressure on this first one here, as Quad doesn't really have the health or mana to rotate over to try to help. Jojo's low on mana, has a little bit of health, but C9's control over the bottom lane has also allowed Berserker and Vulcan to really just zone everybody else away. Quad wants to use Mom to try to push out this wave, get rid of this. Inspired will show up to help him just get this wave shoved out and allow him to take a recall.
Yeah, it's always annoying in this situation, you know, for Jojo. He had big one ready. Quad was so low on mana, so low on health. Could have potentially died or had the wave frozen on him, you know, had Inspired not been there, but of course Inspired is there to bail him out. Oh, now Bwipo in trouble.
This is the problem. This Renekton Ksante matchup gets real dicey when Ksante can knock you back underneath the turret like that. Got the Q3 ready to go. Shoves Bwipo right on back. Jumps back in with a little bit of footwork. And Thanatos, good deaths, good kills, good lane from the C9 top lane.
I'm Team Thanatos. Perfect game so far for him, in my eyes.
I mean, he dodges the early gank. He gets a lot of summoners and pressure out with the proxying, and now gets a solo kill. And this is just the classic oopsie. Got greedy, goes for the last minion there. Thanatos lines it up, Pathmaker in, scoops him back into the tower. And then even how he plays this here, when he backs off, he's making sure that Bwipo can't get a slice and dice through him. So that's why he backs off there. He's saying, okay, the only way he can get out is if he can get a double proc on that, the slice and the dice. So steps back out, jumps back in, finishes off the kill.
And Ksante is afforded that luxury to be able to do that because of the advantage in mobility. Since he's going to be able to go back in and he has the extra range to do that. So really nicely done from Thanatos. Everyone has always complimented him on his mechanics and on display so far this game, both in dodging as well as in the one-on-one kill.
I really want to see how much prio is going to be put on getting these next 3 grubs here for Cloud9. If they can get 6 grubs or, you know, at least 4 with Ziggs, it really ramps up that pushing power here against a champion that's already so frustrating to deal with because the passive auto attack does so much damage. You can execute the towers, of course, as well with that W. So Ziggs becomes very problematic. You stack up the grubs, you grab the Herald, and you can really start to knock a lot of these towers off the map.
late game, like full build or near full build Ziggs with his passive ready and like 800 AP or whatever, legitimately 2 shots turrets. It's a single auto attack into a satchel, kaboom, the thing's dead.
Yeah.
It's just the guy is actually a demolition man on these structures. Berserker, little bit ahead of Massu in terms of farm, but it's such a small difference, it doesn't really amount to a whole lot of anything. Less than 30 seconds now on that second pot of grubs. C9 did secure the first Drake. The gold dead even between the two teams. This time in game number 1, remember that Cloud9 would just be securing that first pot of grubs right around now. They had already got almost the 2 Drakes for themselves, and they were up 1,500 gold. So FlyQuest keeping things a little more equal here in this second.
Quit trying to make pot of grubs
It's
happen.
happening.
Quit trying to make that happen, bro. It's not happening.
It will happen. It will happen.
Okay.
This is what you call. It's a school of fish, a herd of cows, and a pot of grubs.
You know what the best one is? A murder of crows.
A murder of crows.
Murder of crows is up there.
I mean, that's just badass.
Yeah, that one's sick.
Can we just do a murder of grubs? Doesn't have the
Pride
same
of
ring.
Lions.
Well, the grub thrower is the ones getting murdered. Now, hold on. Looks like we might have a little bit more violence up here in the top lane as Berserker has to flash away, but Bwipo's ready to flash follow here with a ruthless Predator. Takes him down, but now Bwipo's in danger. C9 needs to fire back a little bit stronger. They will not kill the Croc just yet. Blaber on the run as Mom breathes fire down on Cloud9. Quad has to try to flash back away from the turret as now he's in danger. Thanatos disengaging once more. FlyQuest gets the single kill on Berserker. Both teams come out swinging, but Berserker's the only one to fall.
Such a good call here for FlyQuest, not wanting to give away the second pot of grubs, Flowers.
Excellent terminology, my friend.
I'm just saying it just because I'm going to show, even if I also use it, it's still not going to be a thing.
No, it will. You are being a good friend
I mean, if
right
we all
now.
start using it, then it just becomes a thing. You're just like, well, we gotta help out our bro, you know?
No, it's important.
Second pot of grubs.
I don't agree with you, but I got your back.
That's a true friend right there.
Now here it is one more time. Bwipo getting in on a Berserker. The initial kill is pretty straightforward, but I did feel like Blaber could have got the kill on Bwipo guaranteed if he used the ulti. I think he felt like it was a guaranteed kill and he did not need to use it. So he holds on to his ult, doesn't elect to actually pop it here, and as a result, Bwipo is able to just walk on out, does survive, the dot expires, can't use it now. Thanatos trying to pull Quad back in, at least gets the flash, but they can't finish through on any kills, though they do get 6 grubs, which, I don't know, man, 6 grubs feels like really hard to play against. Anytime I'm in a game and they get all 6, you just walk up with a few players and all of a sudden there's so many extra minions, so much extra damage getting thrown down on that tower that it becomes very difficult to defend siege situations.
Yeah, in the end, Cloud9, even after the reset, they just go back and grab them.
2 pots.
So it's great. We
2 pots of grubs.
we got them both anyways. That also completes your Leandries for Blaber. Again, as soon as you get this here, really becomes a completely different effect for some of those fights. And we'll see about the next sleep that comes through.
But I will say, compared to last game, you know, Blaber, it felt like he had a lot more impact. Not only was he able to get every objective, he was able to affect some of the lanes. They had that early pressure down on bot side where they got that sleep into MF combo. They got the early kills. Inspired got first blood. He's still up on gold here 13 minutes in, so he's not just getting run over, I felt like, in the same way that he did in game number 1.
To me, Blaber benefited a lot in game number 1 as they go for another kill here.
Yeah, Bwipo could be the one in danger. They commit the sleep. They have enough damage to secure the kill. Yeah, they will. Blaber picks up the credit on that one as Thanatos was there to guarantee that that exit path was not safe. And now with the enemy top laner down for the next 25 seconds, second Drake of the game's looking pretty easy for C9 with total control over the bot lane as well. They've got Berserker working on that one with Thanatos. There's 30 seconds left to try to mine as much plate gold as humanly possible out of this thing. Third plate should go their way right there. Remember that early on when the satchel level is low, the execution threshold on the turrets is also lower. And okay, looks like we won't get a whole lot more progress than that.
Yeah, I was going to highlight that Cloud9 were actually giving up tower plate money in mid lane to Massu as he pushed the wave already in. That's why they used the teleport here from Berserker to come over to actually finish those out. But let's take another look at it. To me, the biggest highlight of this is just that Thanatos does not use his ult. He has his Q3, so he goes right into Q3, into shove him into the wall, saving his ult cooldown. You don't need to use that. Just nice timings there from him to chain the CC onto Bwipo, so Bwipo cannot escape from that. And then they get the kill plus the actual dragon and keep their dragon stacking on pace. It's a little bit slower than the first game, but not much.
And once again, in the same spot on the map, Bwipo's going to find himself caught out by multiple Cloud9 players. Vulcan stopping that escape route. The Alistar can easily tank the turret. Unbreakable Will's just gonna stop him mid-slice. Bwipo dies back-to-back here in the bottom lane. There's those baby grubs you were talking about, Azael, just immediately ready to continue the play. That's going to be first turret for C9 alongside those first 2 Drakes. Kobe, you said it might have been a slightly slower take on the Drakes here in game number 2, but the Soul is a Hex Soul. Blaber, though, getting caught in the enemy jungle now. No way out on that one. He'll burn down. Massu's going to commit the ulti just to make sure that he gets the money as Quad is caught out. This has been the absolute death zone for FlyQuest. This Tri-Brush has killed so many FlyQuest players.
It's looking like the Bermuda Triangle down there for FlyQuest. You go there, you disappear. Again, another soul laner dying down on that bot side. Bwipo, back-to-back deaths, Quad dying as well, really hurts. And this time, it's a Hextech soul. It's not that Chemdrake, and it's Hextech with a team that has a lot of poke. Such easy ways to apply it. You cannot be giving that over to a Ziggs Corki.
Berserker knew he's got the Hextech Ziggs skin. he manifested it. He manifested it for C9. What a true genius play from Berserker there. Not only is he playing the mage in the bottom lane, but he's also playing those dragons like a fiddle. Let's see if they can keep it up, because Berserker right now can shove mid wave, but FlyQuest are the ones actually pushing hard through river.
All right, FlyQuest, you're going to have to regain your footing here a little bit. We were praising them for having a closer early game than game number 1, not letting C9 get away with as much. But now C9 is back to a very similar spot to what we saw in that first confrontation. FlyQuest trying to contest here for the Rift Herald, as neither side is going to commit to anything just yet.
And big difference to me here is the Ziggs burst damage. Ziggs can, with the Ludens right now completed, plus your ultimate on top of somebody that gets locked up by Alistar, Ziggs can just have such an immediate impact if C9 get the early engage, and they actually get another one from Thanatos.
Thanatos is finding these angles over and over again to bring people underneath turrets with the all-out, and that's the first kill on Busio. C9 won't get anybody else, but they don't need anybody else. The 5v4 advantage is enough to punch their ticket. Destination Rift Herald.
I swear, this guy is just styling this game. Really, really good gameplay from Thanatos so far in this game number 2, and that opens up so many doors for Cloud9 because he gets that pick at the opportune moment. They get to shove in on top wave and have the Rift Herald already whittled down here. I will say Busio is a support with Hex Gates, so his death timer is so low, Busio is back.
Well, the Herald's immediately smited. Blaber will pick that one up. No chance to contest for Eyeball. Easy.
And Herald plus Ziggs plus 6 Grubs. I mean, you could actually ride that in.
0 tower.
It is dead tower from
no
full.
Counterplay.
If you ride that in, you're going to get that thing pretty much dead. So C9 poised to extend that gold lead even further here. Again, I think this third dragon will be critical in this game. I said it last time, I feel even more so this game, it's really going to matter.
Yeah.
As it is that Hex Tech, and we can see one more time, just really nicely set up by Thanatos, scoops him back to the wall, Pathmaker buffered out after it, and then pulls him into the tower. Even though Busio kind of was able to disrupt the combo, because he had a nice timing on the Shattered Strike to actually interrupt the Alistar combo, so he kind of got punted away. Still, that last tower shot went through, and does get finished off.
So do we think that FlyQuest chooses to challenge for this third Drake this time around? Last time, game number 1, they surrendered it, and then we talked about the consequences.
So I actually think they might, because they have 2 items for Kaisa right now. Okay. You've got your Rage Blade now competed for Massu. So Massu might be saying, I'm strong now, but we'll see.
I just wonder about the stacks, right? You know, I feel like they might be in this same part where they're like, okay, we're going to wait for the stacks, Bwipo, though, caught out.
Oh, man, Bwipo caught again. Flashes over the wall to escape the Drowsy. That'll be enough to keep him alive, but I just feel like every time we're seeing Bwipo here in the second game, it's him getting caught somewhere by Cloud9. Tier 2 turret here in the bottom lane. Now the target. C9, they might have lost their top lane tier 1. They know Quad is up there, but they'll trade the enemy tier 2 for it, and now they've got total control and a beeline straight down to the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, that's so beneficial for C9. Getting the Renekton flash. Renekton now, it's already been pretty useless this game, but now without flash for a team fight, you're turbo useless. So they just keep Quad farming up those stacks like you're talking about. And in the best case scenario, he could get a top tower, but I think it might be a little bit low damage at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think he can. With just 3 range minions, he's going to have to back off. And Cloud9 got multiple towers during that, didn't even use the Herald yet. So they could drop the Herald mid for a tier 2 or to try to go for a multi-tower play top. You can see there was actually a ping from Cloud9 on the tier 2 top. So maybe they're going to move up there, try to knock down the tier 1, then get a charge on the tier 2 to really slingshot that gold lead even further forward.
And I feel like for Cloud9, one of the big tools that you've got to kind of force anything you want is a Lillia with flash and an unbroken arm guard. This is a huge engage threat that is very difficult to deal with on FlyQuest. You've got to be so mindful of Blaber's positioning at all times because a multi-ulti is an instant team fight loss when you're already 3,000 gold and 3 Drakes behind. Cloud9 stepping into the enemy jungle now, just trying to make FlyQuest always have that little itching thought at the back of their mind. Well, what if they're on Baron? What if they're trying to sneak something?
And actually with this full commitment topside for C9, they are going to let Bwipo fully push on bottom side. So Bwipo down here for FlyQuest will slowly be getting a little bit of advantage as objective bounties do pop up. So
can't race Herald,
that objective bounty timer might time perfectly here for Bwipo to be able to collect it. He should actually wait a little bit on tower. Oh, Ziggs clears.
Okay, there's the
Wait for the objective bounty to pop.
He's waiting.
Nice.
There it is.
Perfect.
Objective bounty claimed. Exactly what Bwipo wanted to do. Shrinks that gold lead back down to 2,500.
And Ziggs, unfortunately for them, wasn't actually up with that tower. They got a little bit nervous about being able to fully commit to it. Blaber did drive it in to get that 12 Void Might spawn. You get 2 for every grub that you claimed earlier on in the game. So Cloud9 still maintaining this gold lead. Again, objective bounties really being a boon to these teams that have been giving up early dragons and have been a way to try to keep themselves close and keep themselves within striking distance. I mean, you can see Bwipo having what feels like a rough game, but he's got a lot more farm because he's playing side lanes, and he has 2 items.
Yeah, critically hitting that Sterax going to make it harder to find a pick on the Renekton in future fights. Smolder is up to 207 stacks, so I feel like it's pretty much guaranteed. Quad will have that 225 mark in time for this Drake fight, but also look at the inventory of Jojo after his core of Trinity Force and Muramana was completed. QSS as the next item wants to make sure that if he gets caught by anything, it's not just an instant win in the fight for FlyQuest. So with him having that, with the arm guard we already talked about on the Lillia, with Alistar just being Alistar, Cloud9 has the tools to try to outplay the engage from FlyQuest. FlyQuest is going to have to get creative.
Exactly, and I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense, you know, from the composition that Cloud9 have. Jojo's going to have to be walking forward, poking and prodding. He's going to have to put himself in a position where he could get engaged on, right, to really be able to get the most damage out possible. So I do think the QSS makes sense from that point of view. We can see Berserker now on 2 items here as well, and the game really becomes all about this soul now. FlyQuest must deny that Hextech soul or face the consequences of it.
All right, they're going to make him think about possibilities here on the top side of the map, see if they can get any more resources invested. Massu's going to ult here if Bwipo is able to force something. Massu kind of trailing, but there's no commitment, and it is a Ksante with flash, so very, very, very difficult to actually commit to that kill.
Yeah, it seemed like they were a little bit nervous about there being a trailing member for Cloud9 as well. You know, if you commit everything to Ksante and someone's behind him, it could get turned around for sure. Yeah. And maybe just hoping more that it was going to be Jojo. But when you're behind, I like these types of plays. You know, obviously the killer instinct gets you into the fight. You sit behind this Renekton who has been getting preyed upon. They come to kill him, throws the stun, Kaisa ults in, you turn it around and try to look for one of those plays. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on Massu as that carry to try to get something done. This guy has really stepped up for FlyQuest. His growth has been so impressive. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Team Liquid and APA and Yan. Massu has done incredible things on FlyQuest as well. He was my vote for second team All-Pro. I thought this guy has had a stellar season. And it has been really, really cool to see Busio and Massu come into their own as a 2v2, come into their own in the team fighting. And it's a big part of why I think FlyQuest has had such a successful season.
All right, here we go. It's the teleport mid after pushing top wave for Cloud9. So they want to go on the extra timer here.
Yeah, we've got the 2-item power spikes pretty much universally here for both sides. C9 grouping up, wanting to maintain mid push, mid control, as we have less than 30 seconds till the Drake.
And I like investing resources like that early, because if you teleport early ahead of the dragon, now you get the better positioning. They've got the vision control over this dragon lead up, so if FlyQuest want to do anything about that
Oh, Jojo gonna get jumped on immediately as Bwipo and Massu try to find the enemy mid laner, but they don't have enough damage just yet. Mom barely misses the kill threshold as Thanatos is focused, but he won't be brought down just yet. A multi-sleep comes out, but Quad gets the kill back on Thanatos. FlyQuest with some beautiful team fighting here in the mid lane are gonna pick up Blaber as well. Enemy jungler down, enemy Thanatos, enemy Ksante, enemy raid boss down. Vulcan trying to go back into the fight for some damn reason. Vulcan down, FlyQuest roars to life.
What a sick engage from FlyQuest onto Jojo. Even with the QSS, they go ham onto Jojo, and they get such a lead in the health bars on the team fight that they then collect multiple kills. They deny the soul this time around. Wow, look at the setup once again. That ward here in the brush, and they just send it. Jojo at the edge. Bwipo playing around. As soon as he goes in, Ruthless Predator and Massu immediately following up. That's everything. Cleanse Flash and your health bar of Jojo, the mom over the top, meant this Corki can only now fire rockets.
And not just the health bar of Jojo, it was the health bar of Thanatos too, who went in to try to bail him out. He was positioning very aggressively because he has the QSS, because he has the Valkyrie and the Flash, but they full commit in. Massu comes flying over the top there, is able to get that damage down. And I think this is a situation where maybe Vulcan thought, I could combo Quad, you can satchel him into the tower, and we can pull off some sort of a play that delays things. But it's a little bit of desperation for sure. And FlyQuest get a big win in this game, pulling it back, getting a dragon, and some critical gold on the carries as well. Massu, definitely a rising star for the team. Now 2 kills, 2 assists, and now he's looking for that side lane play. Does he have the killer instinct? He does.
Okay, Massu and Bwipo should have enough firepower, you would think, to take this guy down. But the problem for FlyQuest is that C9 sees the opportunity. They're going to go for the Baron at the same time. Thanatos is dead for the next 45 seconds. A TP is coming in from Bwipo. Mom does a lot of damage, and Vulcan is about to die, staying alive through Unbreakable Will as the Baron is secured by Blaber. But now Vulcan is down. Now Cloud9's going to try to get away with some of these buffs still intact. But no, only Berserker still stands with the purple. FlyQuest doing a great job responding.
FlyQuest will take that trade every day of the week. Look at that. That's going to get way worse.
They're not done yet. Busio waiting for Berserker to use the satchel to try to get himself away. Berserker burning low, but he ain't going to die just yet. Critically holds onto that single Baron buff. In both games now, FlyQuest have fallen behind early and then come back in the mid-game.
The kings of objective bounties.
Yeah, FlyQuest able to capitalize off a great team fight mid. They get another pick onto Thanatos. Cloud9 tries to make the cross-map play here, and we're pretty good about it, but this damage from Quad to start it out really made such a difference. He gets a W on multiple people. He gets the ulti on 3 people. The Q onto Vulcan, gets that first execute as Vulcan has to sacrifice his life to keep Inspired out of the pit. But there's just no way you're ever going to win the fight when you're pumping that much damage into the Baron while they're pumping their damage into you.
Yeah, they used all of their CC on Inspired to keep him out and all of their damage on the Baron to burn it down. So Quad just gets the free fire, and the Dragon is eating good tonight.
FlyQuest coming back into it. Now with a 1,000 gold lead, control over the Rift. They're not really that worried about the one Baron on the enemy team. I mean, it's all Berserker. He can't really push up by himself. C9 would have to move out as a unit, and FlyQuest just seems to be performing better as a unit right now.
And now they get to just have Quad solo push topside. His teleport is up. He can join the rest of the team. They're holding mid with the duo. Massu even gets to farm up some jungle camps at the moment. By the way, during that whole Baron, he got to stay and push bot wave. So they got the kill onto Thanatos, and then they also got to push the map while they collect all of the kills. It's just so much of a swing here in the favor of FlyQuest. Cloud9 in this situation where they have to really worry about flanks now too. Busio control wards on the side.
Now, I'm so interested to see, is Cloud9 going to still try to fight for this next dragon and still try to attempt that soul, or are they going to try to slow down the game, say, okay, now we need to take a step back? Because now it becomes, what is your read on the game? Do you think you win if this goes late? You know, do you allow the next dragon to go over and say, all right, we're going to contest at 35 minutes, we're going to test at 40 minutes, where it's true late game? You know, does Cloud9 have the confidence that they can even win if it gets there?
Well, we've already reached the Smolder horizon. He has the core build of Muramana and Trinity Force, plus the Rapid Fire and the 225 evolution to make this poke absolutely obnoxious. If you are having a stare down with this guy, you are feeling the pressure from minute 1 to finally engage and end that stand. standoff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Cloud9 is also invested into double heal cut items. They have Umbrello plus the Mortal Reminder. Mortal Reminder, I think, is just a good item now because all LDR has is the 10 extra AD.
Yeah.
Giant Slayer is long gone, even though people seem to forget that a lot. But the Morello feels like a bit of an overinvestment. There's not that much healing.
Well, immediate combo there onto Bwipo from Vulcan. Bwipo's down to 1/3 HP. Sterix procs to make sure that they can't really get the kill on him.
Sleep.
Still walking away from this one.
Nope.
No sleep used.
Massu has his cleanse.
Back.
Massu has cleanse here, so they don't want to invest their CDs just yet, but this is 20 seconds on Dragon. If Bwipo can't get a reset, Bwipo gets it. Oh yeah, he gets canceled. There's no Sterix, and half HP on the Renekton makes the fight really, really hard.
And he has no TP yet. It's actually up pretty soon, but it's not yet available. There's a small bit of cooldown on it.
He got interrupted again. Thanatos with a nice Q3, stopping Bwipo from recovering. Now Thanatos is going to lose half HP to this. The mom damage isn't really extreme on the front line. Ksante.
Thanatos does have TP, though. If he can actually get out of here, we'll see.
Okay, Bwipo forced to use the Dominus. Flashes over the wall for the slice and dive. That ain't going to work out. They interrupt the FlyQuest dive. C9 getting their carries away for now, but the unstoppable quad takes down Thanatos. FlyQuest still pushing. Bwipo's gonna die here with the front line. Low health bars on both sides. Massu and Quad, 25% HP each, but C9 has more health. They have control over the Dragon Pit. Busio and Inspired are gonna be the first to check. Massu coming around from the side, but Jojo's also got eyes on him. A TP for re-entry for Quad, as FlyQuest do not want to give over the Dragon Soul. Quad will fly back into the pit and secure the kill on the enemy jungler. Now C9 knows they don't have a smite for it. Jojo's gonna try to steal it away if he can, but it ain't gonna matter. The Hex Soul denied once more by FlyQuest.
Quad is the dragon that they needed, and Busio went into the pit. He forces the flash from Inspired there so they can just focus him down. FlyQuest, they keep their eyes on the dragon. Even after that crazy initial fight, they still get their objective. They deny again the Dragon Soul from Cloud9, and here is the moment where they do get the interrupt onto Bwipo, but the follow-up CC allows them to chunk down Thanatos to then the same HP, so that Bwipo makes the call. Once they get Redemption Heal, he flashes on Jojo again, and it's only because Vulcan goes for the peel that it's not a repeat of the last time.
Yeah, that combo from Vulcan was sick, but they just didn't really have the damage to finish it out. The ulti from Berserker was pretty nicely timed, but Massu was able to flash out of that. He survives, and then all of a sudden, the TP from Quad is really what makes the big difference here.
And then you saw the backline from FlyQuest actually still made so much work. After he comes back in, though, with the full HP, Busio forces the flash from Inspired, and Quad
back
just
to live.
flies in.
Vulcan jumping in as Quad continues to lead the charge towards the back line of Cloud9. Vulcan escaping with the Unbreakable Will as Daisy is eliminated. Thanatos here in the front yet again, goes for a double knockback on the Q3, but now the engage with the Magnet Storm from Busio locks up everybody on C9. Quad's going godlike, and C9's going home in a body bag. Berserker absolutely smashed by Bwipo's Renekton. A clean ace for nothing for FlyQuest. They are marching into the base. Ladies and gentlemen, Cloud9 ain't gonna beat them in this one. We got ourselves a series.
FlyQuest are gonna make no mistake about it this time. Quad and Massu crushing through Cloud9 there.
Those Nexus turrets ain't much, man. FlyQuest team fighting FlyQuest mid-game. FlyQuest come back in game 2 and tie up the series.
These are the kind of fights I want to see from our second and third place teams. That was so fun to watch here. C9 and FlyQuest in these mid and late game fights are really throwing haymakers.
I love it, man. Beautiful, beautiful performances here. I'm starting to feel like this Smolder might be a problem for C9 to address.
Smolder, Ivern, also in this one, Busio had a lot of really good engages for FlyQuest too.
Good stuff from the FlyQuest boys all around. Reminder, single day tickets are officially on sale for the LCS Championship at the YouTube Theater in